Hello and welcome back to the hot seat. Today we're gonna do a different episode. It's a solo episode where I'm going to answer the 10 most asked questions that I receive all the time on the social media platform. It could be LinkedIn, but mainly Instagram, to be honest, and TikTok. So I made this list because I wanted to just, let's say, explain myself and give a brief introduction of who I am and what I mainly do. The first question that I usually get is where I'm from. And not only because people want to know where I'm from, but also because they hear this accent. And I receive a lot of comments about this accent and they're wondering, how comes you're Albanian, but you have this weird accent. So I'm Albanian. I was born in Albania. When I was 11 months, my family migrated to Milan, Italy, where I grew up. I studied there until I was 23, and then I moved to London pretty much. So this is my story. I lived across different cultures, and now I live in Dubai. It's been 4 years, and I'm pretty happy to be here and to have built my company here and this podcast and be here with you today. What did I study? I studied marketing, before marketing, I studied hospitality and management. I've always been passionate about that, and one of my biggest dreams in the future would be to have my own wellness hotel and being able to, have a space where I can also train, maybe use swimming pool, cycling track, don't want much from life. Of course, a sea view and for it to be in the mountain and so on and so. Hit me up if you're interested in investing in my next project. And then, going back to what I studied actually, apart from the hospitality management that I studied in high school, I also studied marketing. To be completely frank and transparent, like the marketing that I studied a long time ago in university is completely different from what I am doing now. Times has changed. At the time, social media management wasn't even a thing. Nowadays, like one of the key part of my business. And here you go. The third question that I get all the time is like, how did your career start and what made you leave corporate? I started to work when I was really young, when I was 15, as a waitress. And I always worked throughout my life, I would say, because I always like to be independent and buy my own thing and, buy expensive stuff and so, and to be autonomous. I started like that, and I feel like that helped me to be able to be on the floor, communicate with people, be empathic with customer and guests, and understand where they're coming from and what their needs were. Straight after that, I started to work for a tech startup in London, and that helped me a lot because we actually won even a Techstar challenge that allow us to go to Berlin, live 3 weeks there, and raise a lot of money. We were pitching in front of customers, investors, and so and so. So it was a pretty good starting point when it comes to the tech side of the business that I'm right now. And then I started to work for a few other companies, media agencies, PR, and then I ended up at Salesforce, where I did nearly 6 years. I was working on the UK market, and then I moved to Dubai as the first employee in the region. That will allow me to be in front of a lot of customer, partner, and understand how this region ecosystem pretty much works. And that's where my agency then developed, but I think we're gonna get to that later on. Like, actually, one of the next question is like, what is 23 Media, and how did that become what it is today? 23, actually, Media today is called 23 Digital. It started as a small content agency. We used to have quite a few customers that were a Salesforce partner at the time, but not only, also restaurants, beauty shops, and like fitness gym and so on. We started with like creating content for them, helping them with ads and run their events. Super fast, we realized that marketing is shifting. It's not anymore how it was done in the past. Nowadays, it's not just about creating the content and running ads, but it's also about personalization and customer journey. So that's when we had the idea of like starting to become Salesforce partner because of all the past experience that of course I had in my career. And we launched the Salesforce partner side of the business. So we merged the two things together and now we are 23 Digital. So fifth question is like, you're an influencer. How does that tie into your business world and how does that impact your daily life? Being an influencer, I think, is something that you're born with, let's say, kind of thing. I was always the influencer within my group of friends. I was always the one like trying new things and bringing those new things into the table for everyone to try and discover new places and travel new places and so on and so. So I added to that the content creation bit, and I started to do that when I moved to Dubai 4 years ago. It was pretty easy when you understand how to go viral, the concept of influencing or like how to monetize and so on. So it becomes pretty easy in your daily life because then you're able to just take the best part of it and make content out of it and so on and so. But like what I want to say is that it helped me a lot in my current business, and it's helping me daily in my current business. Why? It's because like personal brand is what people look into nowadays. They don't just look into working with a company, but they look into working with someone they can trust and they fully understand their business. So yeah, I feel like it's helping me daily, and it resonates with what I do. I just take whatever I do and I just make people aware of it and make them being part of the community, let's say, and I showcase my value and the goals that I achieved, and sometimes even like thoughts that I have about the business and so. And like even with this podcast, for example, we just try to get people on board and ask them about how they get motivated, how they get there, and like I think it's it's all about sharing. And being an influencer is all about sharing and creating a community that people feel attached to in the future. What inspired you to create the hot seat is this, definitely, is the fact that I wanted to share with people more and more. And I am lucky enough that with my business, I always get to talk to C-level founders, investors, and people that have bigger vision and innovatives, and I don't know, people that are making the difference in this society. So I thought, why not taking these people and putting them in front of the camera and learn from them and understand how they think, what keeps them driven, and so on and so. So that's why I came up with the hot seat idea. You're also an athlete. What fitness means to you? I mean, I'm not an athlete. I'm a failed athlete. I would call it this way. No, I'm joking. I just like to be. I just like discipline, and I think that training is a big part of my day. Is always there. I always include 1 or 2 hours to be focused on myself. It helps me meditate. Most of the time when I'm training, I meditate. I get zone out and I'm able to focus on things that during the day I don't. I improve myself daily 1%. I always get out there and I always try to make the most of my training session. It's not always the best, but the important is that I just did it. Just get it done. And as soon as I'm out there, I feel like a completely new person. Even if my day was the worst, or like, especially if I train in the evening, anything could have happened during the day. As soon as I'm training, like as soon as I start the walk, or it could be the run or swim or whatever, I feel like a whole new person. Like I feel like everything is left behind. I stop overthinking. I start having clarity. So I believe it's keeping me like sane. Especially being an entrepreneur is the only part of the day where I feel like I'm still okay. So what is the biggest challenge you faced on your journey so far? Well, I faced a million of challenges daily, I would say. Not million, but yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge that I faced was when I realized at the beginning of the year that having a digital marketing agency, or like having to offer social media services or like graphic design services, all of these things, it's not that valuable anymore, and soon enough is going to be replaced by AI. And I was afraid that in 5 years' time I wouldn't be able to offer to my customer any more valuable. So yeah, that was, I think, a moment where I decided to pivot my company, and it worked well. So yeah, it was one of the most challenging and toughest time for me, but it worked out. So I'm happy to be where I am. And most of the time, just to move forward, you have to have that step back. So I think everything will anyway work out. So yeah, important is that you do it and you understand that you cannot just keep going as you were going. There is always the moment of change. There is always the moment of growth. People say you're everywhere, entrepreneur, author, creator. How do you balance it all? I don't balance it all. I sometimes do this and sometimes do that. Sometimes I'm dedicated to just rest. Sometimes I'm dedicated to training. Sometimes I'm more dedicated to the podcast, and some others to the 23 digital. So it's a kind of a lie when they say that you can balance it all. There is always something that you have to give priority to. There are certain months like this one where I'm working a lot on the podcast and I'm creating a lot of content for me to be able then to publish everything on every Monday so that you guys have always an episode ready for you to listen. And there were some other months, like a few months ago, that I was focusing actually on my personal life where I got married and so and so. So yeah, it's not about really balancing, but finding what is the priority. And yeah, that's it. I think it works out. So yeah. Works out for me at least. Okay, so the last question is like, what keeps you motivated and what is the best advice that you would give to other people that want to be entrepreneur, open their own thing? What keeps me motivated is seeing results. So every time I don't, let's say, follow the structure that I have when it comes to the business or let's say the habits that I scheduled or decided for me to follow, I feel like nothing goes right. So the only thing that keeps me motivated is knowing that, look, if I follow this standard procedure, if I follow those habits, like if I follow my schedule, or like I usually block calendar, this is how I keep myself organized, I would 100% see results, like in everything. If you say to yourself you're gonna go 4 times a week to the gym, if you just do that for a month, you will see results. There is no way you're not gonna do that. If you decide to learn a new language and you spend 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day every day on that, 100% at the end of the month you will have something to celebrate and say that was a success. So this is what keeps me motivated. Not really the fact that I look at that in long term, but more the fact that if I do this and if I stick to the plan, I'm gonna have a reward afterwards. So I would say it's the reward part, or even seeing myself different, I've realized that I'm never the same person. Every 3 months there is something new about me, either a new sport, a new company, or a new friend, or like a new anything. New diet. I change diet pretty often as well. None of them works apparently. I'm joking. So yeah, I mean, the fact that I can be a different person, a new me or a better me every time, this is what keeps me motivated as well. So with that said, I kind of answered 10 of the frequently asked questions from you guys. If you like this episode and you want to see more of this, let me know in the comments and I will be glad to do many more of this, because to be honest, we receive a lot of questions all the time. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.